everyone, it's Nora Senneth, and in this video we're going to be talking about how to use keyword tools to learn a little bit more about your customer. We're also going to revisit keywords for the competitive analysis in the next module, but for this video we're going to focus on what we can learn about our target customer. So with that in mind, we're going to use these tools to get a better understanding of what your customers are already searching for. You can validate the demand for your market by seeing how many people are searching for keywords in it. We're also going to get some ideas for front-end offers or lead magnets or potential customer bait that you can use to attract your ideal customer. And we're going to see what content is being liked and shared the most on social media so that maybe you can find some ideas for your own audience. And then we'll see how you can find some influencers in your market to know who your customers are already listening to and what messages they're already being exposed to. Now, before we get started with the tools, just a word about customer intent. So what is keyword intent, right? When people talk about intent, they're typically referring to the end goal of the person who is searching. So is your customer's goal informational? Are they just searching for information? Or is it transactional? Are they looking to buy? Now, this is just something I want you to keep in mind as you're looking for the specific keywords related to your product or service. The specific goal of the search. So for example, when someone searches soccer, are they looking to buy a soccer ball? Are they looking to play soccer, watch soccer, or learn more about soccer? So think about some of the modifiers that your customers would use when they're searching for something that would show us or reveal to us their overall intent. So here we have a few examples listed. You can see, maybe someone who's searching for tips or ideas might not be as ready to buy as someone who's searching for pricing or something under a certain dollar amount, right? They may be closer to that transactional goal. And again, this isn't meant to be a comprehensive list. This is just more food for thought for you to apply to your own relevant keywords. But let's go ahead and use this as an example. So if a customer is in the market for a new treadmill, if they were searching for treadmills up to 12 miles per hour or the best treadmill for rehabilitation exercises or the best treadmill for marathon runners, it would show you that that person was more in the early stages of their buying process, possibly, right? Still gathering ideas, still making decisions, still trying to decide what to purchase. So there, you might send that person to a bridge page that gives them more information to help them make that decision, right? To lead them to the next step. But if that person was searching for a specific treadmill name or model, with free shipping or something like that, then they might be closer to making that purchase. Again, this is just something for you to think about, especially if you've never really, thought about keywords for your target customers. Just think about what they might be looking for or the differences in phrasing that they would use if they're in different places in the buying cycle. All right, let's go ahead and dive into a couple of tools that you can use for keyword research to learn more about what your market is searching for and what they're interested in. And we're going to go ahead and start with the most basic one, and that is Google Suggest. Now, Google Suggest is just the name for Google's autocomplete function that you've probably seen and experienced when you've searched for something. Google provides the autocomplete function to help searchers find information more quickly. So go ahead and act like your customer and start typing in some things that your customers might search for and see what comes up. Now, it may give you some additional ideas. You might see some common search terms that people are looking for. Just pull up Google, try it out, and see what suggestions there are for keywords and phrases in your own niche. All right, and sticking with Google, we're going to dive in a little bit further and look at one of the most common and, again, 100% free keyword tool that people use the most to do their research, and that is the Google AdWords Keyword Planner. Now, the Keyword Planner tool can give you great insight into your customers' buying and search habits, and we're going to get into the tool here in a moment. If you don't already have an AdWords account, you will need one to use the Keyword Planner, but again, that is also free. So if you just head over to adwords.google.com or just, again, search for the Keyword Planner, you're going to find it. This tool is going to help you see what people are searching for on Google and give you some potential ideas for front-end offers or customer bait or hooks that might get your customers' attention. So let's go ahead and hop into the Keyword Planner tool and see some examples in action. All right, so here we are in the Keyword Planner tool. Now, for this example, I'm just going to run through something that's very basic but still gives you incredible, useful information. So let's go ahead and start out by searching for some new keywords. So here you can put some information about your product or service. So for this example, let's say that we sell a tea for weight loss. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that into the area here. Now, if you put some keywords in, you really don't need a landing page, or you don't have to select a product category. You can definitely fill those things out. But if you've already put a few keywords in here at the top, those are optional, and you don't need to complete that area to continue. All right, now down here you can choose your targeting. So if you happen to be targeting a specific location or a specific language, you can go ahead and change those right here. Now for the search, I'm going to keep them as is. You can also, right now I'm showing the average monthly searches for the last 12 months. But again, if you wanted to adjust that time frame, you can do that right there. All right, you can change all of that if you want to. You can also leverage negative keywords if that makes sense for your business. So as an example, maybe you sell tennis rackets and you don't want to include anything with the word shoes because you don't want search results that include tennis shoes. So you could exclude the word shoes as a negative keyword. All right, now I am just going to go ahead and keep this example very basic. So once you have your information filled out, then go ahead and click Get Ideas. All right, then that'll load. All right, so what are we looking at here? Well, first and foremost, you can validate the demand for your niche or market by looking at the average monthly searches for the keywords that you entered. So here for that initial keyword that I typed in, we're seeing 10,000 to 100,000 searches per month. So there's definitely demand and people are searching for this. This also is telling me that the competition for this keyword is high. Lots of advertisers are bidding on it, and the suggested bid for AdWords, which again we'll talk about in more detail when we get to the AdWords course, is about $1.30. Okay. And then down here you can see some other ideas. So these are related keywords that your customers may also be searching for. So you can look through here and get ideas for what your customers might be searching for, the words they're using to solve their problem. So I'm seeing things like slimming tea, or I'm looking and I see detox tea, right? So those are phrases that I might choose to split test in my copy. And if I come up here and look at the ad group ideas, I might find some additional keywords I wasn't aware of, or different phrases or different terminology that my customers might be using, right? Other keyword ideas that I can then leverage in my research. So this is also something to explore for your own niche. All right. Now, the other thing this process might uncover are ideas for front-end offers or hooks. So let's just go ahead and use another example here. Let's say that I have a client who offers laser lipo services, and all of their marketing was focused around removing cellulite. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and type in remove cellulite as my keyword idea, because that might be something their customers search for. All right, now as I look down here, I'm seeing other related phrases and other keywords that people are also searching for. And one that I see right here is cellulite cream. So it's possible that I could suggest that this client offer a free plus shipping bottle of cellulite cream as possible customer bait to get them into their higher ticket items, right? Or vice versa. Let's say, you are the person selling a tube of cellulite cream, and, looking down here, maybe you should partner with a few local doctor's office that offer, cellulite laser treatments, because laser treatments are showing up here on the list. So exploring keywords like this can help give you ideas and insights into what your customers are already searching for and possible front-end offers or ideas that you can leverage in your own business. All right, next we're going to shift to look at another tool that's great for discovering the most shared content across social networks and identifying influencers in your niche. So this is BuzzSumo. You can find this at buzzsumo.com, and this is a paid tool. It has pricing that ranges from maybe $100 a month to $700 a month, but they do have a 14-day free trial, and you can do some things with that free level. So we'll actually show you an example here in a second. Here you can see, what types of content is being shared across social networks. You'll find potential influencers for a specific topic. So you might find potential affiliates or JVs or competitors. Another thing that BuzzSumo allows you to do is to set up content alerts. So with those, you can be notified if someone is mentioning your keywords, or maybe you want to keep tabs on a competitor or someone in your Dream 100 list so you know when they're publishing new content. You can do that with those content alerts. Now, there's lots of ways you can leverage popular content. You can use it as an entry point into your value ladder, as a bridge page. Maybe you can also use it as a bonus. You can create a bonus around it for an existing offer. So there's lots of ways to use that information, but let's go ahead and pop into the tool and check this out. All right, now I'm using a 14-day free trial account here so you can kind of see what information is available if you choose to do that. And the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and look at the most shared content related to my product or service. So for this example, I'm going to go ahead and type in that good old weight loss tease and see what comes up. All right, so here you can see the content on this topic that's being shared the most. You can see Facebook engagement, shares on LinkedIn, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, if anyone is still using Google+. You can see the platforms that seem to be the most popular with this type of content, right? So some content in some niches, Pinterest might, outweigh Facebook. Facebook might outweigh Twitter. It just kind of depends on your market, but you'll be able to see what content is doing well on the different platforms with this. You'll also be able to see when the content was published, who published it, and you can even go look at the content and see what it's all about. All right, now I'm going to come over here to content analysis. So here, I can use this tool to see which network seems to do best for this type of content and which type of content seems to do best overall, right? So I'm going to go ahead and type in weight loss teas here. And now I can kind of see, right? It looks what social network is the one that does the best for this type of content. Which one should I be using when I'm trying to reach my ideal customer, okay? Now, same thing here. I'm actually going to come over to Facebook Analyzer. This one's pretty cool because it allows you to see the content that's been out there on Facebook. And again, I'm going to use that same keyword, weight loss tea. And now I'm going to check out the results. So here I can see a bunch of posts related to that topic. I can see the images that they've used, the headlines or the text that they've used. I can see the number of likes, comments, shares, the number of total interactions, right? So I can see which posts were the most popular. This can give me some great ideas of what, I could be using for my own content marketing. All right, and now if I click on analysis, I can see, the most popular type of post here was a question. And that seems to get the most interaction. And the most popular post length was about 50 to 100 characters. So that's good to know. That's something for me to test. Wednesday seems to be the best day to post about this topic. And around 10 a.m. seems to be the best time. This is when they're, on average, getting the most engagement. And if you do scroll down on this page, you're just going to get all the distributions for all those different things. So you can kind of compare and see if you wanted to pick different days or different times, which things would potentially work out best for you in this specific niche. All right, now the last thing I want to show you here is influencers. So I'm going to come over here to influencers, and again, I'm going to type in the same search term, weight loss teas, and I'm going to see what comes up. All right, now here, I can see the top influencers on Twitter in this space. So these are great people to put on your Dream 100 list, which we'll talk about in a separate video, but possible competitors, JVs, advertising partners, right? These are the people that your customers are currently listening to on this topic. They're following these people. They're hearing the messages that they are telling them in this space. So you should be following them and listening to their messages so that you can understand what information your customer is already being exposed to. All right, so to wrap up this lesson, we've taken a look at some keyword tools that will help you validate what your customers are already searching for. We've shown you how they can potentially give you great ideas for front-end offers or bait that you can use based on, again, on what your customers are already looking for. And we've seen how we can look for compelling content in influencers in your space. And now it's your turn. So go ahead and check out these free tools and do a little keyword research of your own.